This morning, I've got two things I want to talk to you about, give you a little insight into some things to help you through your holiday experience, as well as kind of breaking out of the fantasy that we as codependents tend to perpetuate. We tend to have quite a bit. That fantasy has to do with love bombing. Okay? So, in the consumer supply relationship or narcissistic transactional cycle, whatever we want to call this thing, there are three stages we go through. We go through the love bombing idealization stage, the devaluing stage, and the discard stage. Now, for codependents, love bombing is a euphoric experience. We're finally being seen, we're finally being valued, we're finally being loved for what we do and maybe even for who we are. They finally get us. We're finally matter to someone, right? It's a huge dose of dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, because it's hitting those 10 primary core needs that we all have of being valued and being seen and being appreciated and being known, being given time and attention, affection, protection, even some rest and play and availability in there. So this love bombing starts to feed these deeply unmet needs, which gives us a euphoric chemical hit, and we feel loved, right? We feel like we matter. But the problem is that love bombing doesn't equal being loved. See, love bombing is not the result of being loved, because love bombing is typically idealistic. It's grandiose. They put us on a pedestal. They claim that you're all or nothing. You're the best woman I've ever met, and all the other women were terrible. I heard that one from a client recently. Or you're the person I've been looking for all my life, yet they've only known you for maybe a day or two or a week or even a month or even a year. I mean, it's really important to understand the love bomb is irrational to the context, time, and to the context of the relationship, which includes the age of the relationship, the depth of the relationship, the amount of experience and awareness they have of you. Like if someone claimed to love you and they've only known you for a few days, they love who you are, you can guarantee 100% they're coming from a fantasy. They're love bombing you. See? Love bombing is black and white. It's grandiose. It puts you on a pedestal. And it's often about how you make them feel. Okay? It's how you add to their sense of life in some way, which can give us an implied expectation that we are expected to show up this way or they're not going to like us. They're not going to keep us. So it's a really challenging element there, especially when it's about things we don't really have any control over, like being a pedestal or like being the person they've always been looking for. That's not something we created. It's not an attribute we intrinsically have. Now, if someone's in love with us and they point out an attribute they like about us, like, hey, you've got that quirky sense of humor I really enjoy, or I appreciate how passionate you are about your interests, or how you treat your children, or how you respond to my pain or my concerns, that's a loving, realistic statement because it's identifying a quality or characteristic, behavior, or skill that you have that is reasonable for you to maintain as an expression of who you are. But love bombing doesn't do that. And love bombing, that's why it's not love, guys. It's grandiose. It's bait. The whole goal of the love bomb is to put you into that euphoric state so that you'll idealize them as the perfect person, feed them supply. Because that's what they want. They love bomb you to get supply. And once they get that supply, the switch is hit and they suddenly start to devalue you, criticize you, dismiss you, ignore you. And eventually they will discard you. And that leaves you feeling like you're not lovable, nobody wants your love, and nobody's going to love you, right? That's the discard trauma. That's what would be called the love wound there. This cycle, you've got to understand, is happening with toxic behaviors in relationships, because healthy relationships do not do this. They don't aggrandize the other person. They don't make grandiose or black and white claims about the person. they are realistic and they're sober about the individual because they realize that they're a human being. They have limits and they want to know who that person is rather than what that person can make them feel. Okay? Real love is about respect and honor and witness. It's about being attuned to self and the other person in a way that allows us to have honesty about what is really going on. And codependency wants to live in the fantasy of idealization so it doesn't have to face conflict, disappointment, and pain, and possibility the fact that you're not compatible or that you're going to get rejected or that you'll have to do the rejection. Okay? So love bombing doesn't equal being loved. It means being baited. So think about that. Okay? Second thing I want to let you know about is I've been invited to participate in what's called the Inside Job with one of my friends, Jessica. It's a training series that starts December 26th that's going to help you get out of the grind and get more into your brilliance, more into the flow of your life so that you can have more abundance, more success, and whatever that means for you. So I'll be doing a training in that. That starts December 26th. The link is above to sign up for. It's free. If you're on Facebook, it's above. On YouTube, it's below. Now, if you're on YouTube, hit subscribe and hit like. And then, guys, comment below and let me know what you're getting out of these trainings. So I'm excited to be a part of that and be a part of Jessica's contribution to the world. So join me there. Otherwise, guys, love bombing does not equal being loved. It equals being baited. Think about that. Because a person that loves you isn't going to just pour all this grandiosity onto you. They're going to ask questions about you. They're going to be interested in how you think and how you feel. But they're also going to respect that. They're not going to expect you to regulate them. They're not going to expect you to bring them a sense of value or importance. Instead, a healthy person wants to play. They want to have fun. And they're going to be kind. And most of all, they're going to respect your no and your yes. They're going to respect your feelings. And healthy people do not abuse, period. They don't attack your character, your emotions, your preferences, your boundaries, your person. They don't make you feel unsafe. Instead, they're attentive and they're kind and they're responsive. They're very rarely, people will be reactive to certain things, but they'll own those reactions. They're not going to blame. And if blame does happen, then when they're confronted with accountability, they're going to take ownership of it. Your job is to learn how to choose and detect healthy people rather than be swooned and seduced by the love bombing. Okay? Hey, Andrew, thank you. I appreciate that from one coach to another there. So, guys, that's what I want you to think about this holiday season. This is my last video training for 2019. We'll be resuming these the week of January the 5th because I'm going to take the next couple of weeks off to just enjoy the holidays, catch up on the happiness strategy programming and some marketing stuff, all that stuff. So I wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holiday, and a Happy New Year. Be safe out there. And remember, if you're struggling with the holidays, get my holiday toolkit, which gives you 4 tools to help you move through the complications that do come with being in toxic family relationships during the holidays. So I appreciate you. And remember, guys, that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping. And I will see you next year. Okay. Have a good day, guys.